North Dakota may allow officials to carry concealed guns to public gatherings, schools. North Dakota. Concealed carry bill for officials passes House. North Dakota's pro-gun House on Tuesday approved allowing lawmakers and other qualified elected officials to carry concealed firearms into government buildings, including the state capitol, and at public gatherings, including sporting events and at schools. House members voted 86-5 in favor of the measure. The Senate must approve some House changes before it goes to Governor Doug Burgum, R., for his signature. Under the bill, qualified elected officials would have to maintain the same firearm competency requirements as law enforcement officers and hold an enhanced concealed carry permit. They would join municipal and district court judges, retired law enforcement officers and members of the Attorney General's staff as those allowed to carry hidden guns at a publicly owned or operated building. North Dakota law defines a public gathering as an athletic or sporting event, a school or school function. The legislation would take effect August 1. The bill was part of a package of gun rights measures pushed by North Dakota's Republican-led legislature. Last month, Burgum signed legislation that will allow most adults to carry a hidden firearm without a permit, making North Dakota one of about a dozen constitutional carry states. The legislature, led by several former educators, rejected a proposal last month for the third consecutive session to allow trained staff members to carry concealed firearms in schools. Associated Press. Florida. Men admit conspiring to aid ISIS in Syria. 2 Florida men have pleaded guilty of conspiring to aid the Islamic State by planning to travel to Syria to join the militant group, the Justice Department said Tuesday. Both men are U.S. citizens and live in Palm Beach County. Dane Anthony Christian, 32, and Darren Ernest Jackson, 51, entered guilty pleas to charges of conspiracy to provide material support to the Islamic State before U.S. District Judge Robin Rosenberg. Each faces up to 20 years in prison on the conspiracy charges. Christian also pleaded guilty to a charge of felon in possession of a firearm, with a maximum sentence of 10 years. The 2 men, along with co-defendant Gregory Hubbard, 53, were arrested by the FBI, after Jackson last July drove Hubbard and an FBI informant to Miami to catch a flight to Germany. Prosecutors claim Hubbard bought a ticket to Berlin, planned to travel by train to Turkey and then cross into Syria to join the Islamic State, court records show. A July 2016 grand jury indictment stated that Christian and Jackson told Hubbard and the informant about their desire to travel to Syria to support the Islamic State, according to a Justice Department news release. The indictment also said Christian and Jackson provided firearms and training in a remote area of Palm Beach County so that Hubbard and the FBI source could learn to shoot. Reuters. Michigan. Man, 80, sentenced for Social Security fraud. An 80-year-old Detroit man was sentenced to 366 days in prison Tuesday for spending $265,000 in Social Security benefits that mistakenly went into his mother's bank account long after her death in 1989. At trial, Otis Wilder tried to convince jurors that he believed the money in his mother's account was his inheritance, not Social Security payments. But U.S. District Judge Victoria Roberts didn't buy it. He was perfectly aware of what he was doing, Roberts said of Wilder's regular use of his late mother's debit card to spend the money. This theft did not represent a lapse in judgment. It took 24 years, until 2014, for the government to catch up to Wilder, but that doesn't dilute the crime, Roberts said. Wilder leans on a cane, his right leg in a protective boot, and has chronic health problems, including diabetes and high blood pressure. The judge said the federal prison system is equipped to handle medical issues. The government learns about deaths of Social Security recipients through families, funeral homes and state reporting systems. Assistant U.S. Attorney Ryan Paerteka said Itis Wilder's death in 1989 may have been overlooked and did not trigger a stop in payments because her widow's benefits were tied to her husband's Social Security number. Paerteka noted that Otis Wilder didn't appear to be hurting for money. He has his own Social Security and a pension from the Ford Motor Company. The government asked for 18 months in prison. A 366-day sentence qualifies him for good behavior credits. He could be released from prison in less than a year. Associated Press. Pennsylvania. Gunman kill 3 near Philadelphia school. Police are looking for suspects in the fatal shooting of 3 men and the wounding of another Monday near a Catholic school in North Philadelphia. Several men were gathered near St. Malachi Catholic School about 3:30 p.m. when they were approached by at least 2 gunmen who fired repeatedly at them. Tayer Jabbar, 20, Ronald Fennick, 32, and Marcelo Robertson, 27, died at local hospitals. A 26-year-old man shot in the stomach was in stable condition, police said. Police Captain James Clark said Tuesday that the shooting happened pretty quickly and that a gun was recovered from one of the victims. All 4 men have prior arrests, Clark said. 2 suspects were being sought, he said. Clark said a $60,000 reward is being offered for information leading to arrests and convictions. The Philadelphia Housing Authority, which owns apartments near the scene, posted an additional $10,000. Associated Press. Man sentenced for deliberately hitting motorcycle. A North Texas man has been sentenced to 15 years in prison for intentionally veering his car into a passing motorcycle, injuring the 2 riders. A different motorcyclist who was wearing a camera recorded the 2015 crash near Granbury, and the video appeared on social media. William Sam Crum, 69, was sentenced last week after being convicted of aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. Crum has been incarcerated since his arrest after failing to post bail. Please subscribe my channel.